Okay, so here today I'm going to demo what I think object relationships should be. One of my favorite things about InVision, or InVision Sketch, is that it has this plugin called Dynamic Button. What you can do with Dynamic Button is take any object, so I'm going to take some text right here, and let's make it a big size. You can take that and you can go up to your plugins, Dynamic Button, and it's just Command J. When I do that, it actually creates this folder structure where you have a group, and inside of the group you have an object, could be a group or a single shape or type, with this syntax, digit, colon, digit, colon, digit, colon, digit, which is top, right, bottom, and left padding. You can also do digit, colon, digit, which would be top, bottom, colon, right, left padding. And then here, the background, the BG layer, is basically the size of that represents the size of this object plus whatever padding you add to it. So I'm just going to go maybe 16, 16, 16, 16. I could also just do 16, 16 for this one. Hit Command J, and this sizes up. And then I can select the background layer and choose anything I like. I could make it a card. I can give it a rounded corner. This is great. I now have this little button. But this is a really powerful feature, and you can actually go much further with this. So what I do in some of my mockups is that, let's just actually say this is a button, button secondary, and let's actually just make it link text, and we're going to do 9, 12, 11, 12. And I'm going to get that. And we're going to copy that. And let's just call this cancel. One thing to keep in mind is with type, because in Sketch when you update the text value inside of a text box, it updates that. It's sometimes a good idea to put the actual text box in a group itself like this, and then apply that padding to the group. So I'm going to do that, and I'm going to turn this into a primary button and turn that text into primary reverse, and we'll call this save. Again, that went away, so I'm going to copy that syntax into here and space them apart like this. And now I'm going to take these and I'm going to group them. I'm going to apply dynamic button to them once again, and I'm going to put these inside of another box. So let's make this just a regular boundary box and give it a 16 all around border. You can't see it right now because it's invisible, but I'm just going to turn that on so you can see it. So let's actually just space these apart. So whatever. I don't need to be super precise for this demo, but that's kind of what happens. And then you might have some text that you want to add to the top here. So make that paragraph text, copy some random text from here just to fill it in, and let's apply a max width of, say, 400 to this. So now I can actually align these buttons to the text, and Command J for that. And I'm also going to give this group it, make it a dynamic button, and I'm going to give this 16 all around as well. I'm actually going to give this a divider and line those up, group these together, and once again dynamic button, and and this time where I'm actually going to take this background and use it as a mask. It changes the name, so you have to change it back to BG. But then what you can actually do is, let's make this a card. And I'm going to give this just to exaggerate, let's give it a 30-point corner radius. And it does this interesting thing where you actually start to hide the content inside of the card and actually make it, mask, have the mask actually sort of create that rounded corner. So just so it's not so extreme, I'm just going to go to maybe 4. I'm going to hide. I'm actually going to just make this a divider as well. So now maybe this goes into, actually, let's not do any more with this, but I could change my mind and say I actually want this to be 600 pixels wide. And so I can just hit the escape key to go up 1 level, hit J, and then now I have that sort of, I have this text being surrounded by the 16 point boundaries, and I can also take this save and move it over along the x-axis by 200. Again, hitting escape to move up, have that box go around. Then there's this really nifty little plugin by this dude named Kemry. I don't really know how to say his name, but anyway, it's called Stack Children, and it's Control-Shift-Command-T. And when you select a group and you hit Control-Option-Command-T, it'll just create a space of 0 between all your objects. And then you can actually just hit Command-J right on that layer. It does this weird thing where you actually have to now go back into the group and literally click on these layers. I think it's because it's not, these are plugins and they're not as integrated with Sketch. So Sketch doesn't really know that the overall height of the items inside it has been reduced. So once you do that, you go back up, you should be fine. You hit J and it'll mask that again. So this is just a really nice way to have a layout that is kind of conscious of the content inside of it. And I'd like to see this happen. I'd like to see this be a more integrated part of my design tools, because you can sort of just keep going up and up and up with this type of thing. So if you look at my actual design files here, I'm using this kind of thing everywhere. With something as atomic as this text, I have actually placed that inside of a field. So just going to zoom right in so we can see. So I've placed that inside of a field. The field is placed inside of a input container that contains the labels, the help text in the bottom here, and this little action. So that goes into the input field group. The input field group fits within this dynamic button group that has all the content within this subsection that are within the section. I'm actually going to just fix that by making it 16, 0, 16, 16, because every single element has a space on the bottom. So you can either just go and selectively take away the last child margin, or you can just not have the parent group have bottom padding. So that's what I've chosen to do. So dynamic button, why isn't that working? Huh, that's weird. Oh, Sketch. (16, 0, 16, 16). I don't understand. Okay. Let's touch each one of these. Okay, anyway, not going to get fixated on that, but there you have a section. You could probably be naming it something better, like, I don't know, subsection. Move to the top. There's another subsection at the bottom. And these two subsections fit into this primary card, which has a 0 pixel border. Oh, I see what I did. I accidentally, that was the right padding. I want to make the bottom padding 0. There we go. Whoops. 16, 16, 0, 16. And dynamic button that. Great. Again, can use Control Option Command T to bring these together. Going back up, closing this one. So now I have my primary card, which now has additional space down here that I don't want to have. So I can go one level higher to my section and Command J on that, and go a level higher, which is the entire group. So now that I'm selecting the entire group, there's that additional space down here. Again, stack children, that comes up, and gonna dynamic button that, and all the way to the top. There's another little cool tool called, if I can just find it, Resize Artboard. Fit selected artboard to content. So Control Shift Z essentially just sizes the artboard. It's a similar kind of experience as with dynamic button where it just fits it to the content. So I'm just going to do that, and sometimes it's, oh, I see, you have to have, oh, that's not an artboard. I just realized that I took it out of the artboard. So I'm just going to select that last child so it realizes, and I'm just going to call this actions, move it to the bottom, and there we go. So that is essentially what dynamic button does, and I think it's a really, really powerful tool that's being underutilized. I think it needs to be a lot more, a much more integrated part of the software that we're using, and I'm going to do some more talks on that later on.